Because God will forgive you for not giving tithe, but you're going to reap the harvest of stealing.
Cults frequently employ isolation tactics to control and manipulate members, often separating them from family and friends, controlling resources, and limiting access to information. These techniques aim to weaken a person's ties and dependence on external support, making them more vulnerable to the cult's influence.
Many religions began as cults, but integrated into the fabric of the larger society as they grew. A modern cult, by contrast, separates its members from others. Rather than providing guidelines for members to live better lives, a cult seeks to directly control them, from personal and family relationships to financial assets and living arrangements.
Grandview Campground was the first location for Hope Village. There's only a few paths in and out of there, so I'm going to try to describe that as well as I can in terms of how isolated this place is. The closest convenience store to Grandview was 3.1 miles away. That's traveling 226 northwest. Now, there are exactly 0 businesses or service providers along that walk. We went beyond that, both on the map and in person, another 5+ miles, and found nothing in terms of places to potentially work at. There's 0 public transportation, and I even tried to find an Uber and couldn't do so on our first trip to the area. The nearest Dollar General was 7.5 miles away, at least a 2.5-hour walk. Now, to get to that retailer, you followed Mariah School Road and passed exactly 0 businesses on that trek as well. And understand, by businesses, we aren't simply referring to retailers. We mean anywhere a person can work and earn a living. The only other remaining path of travel is to take 226 Polkville Road south, and that is the most pointless trip of all of them. Now, the closest medical service providers are located 18 miles away. Sure, that's only a 24-minute drive, but to walk it, you're looking at least 6 hours to get there. Oh, and a data signal for emergency job hunting, government assistance, or to communicate with loved ones and so on, there's almost none. We tried multiple provider services, and we were unable to consistently maintain communication with the server, much less a phone carrier network. Now, in comparison, the new Hope Village location is definitely an improvement in regards to providing access to anything other than your tent and your limited allowance of food. There are 7 or 8 restaurants in downtown Rutherfordton and some services, but you're still talking about 6.6 miles over a 2.5-hour walk to get down there. If residents were allowed to leave the property on their donated bicycles, they could make that trip in probably 20 minutes. But as you can see from the aerial view, it's every bit as desolate in the other 3 directions as Grandview Campground was. People move to and drive through these places to get away.
However, we were out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. So there was really nowhere to go, because the store was 3 miles. And the Dollar General store, I think, was 6.5 miles.
Yeah, it was a lot further, yeah.
Yeah.
Was anybody, looking for jobs or anything like that?
No, because there was nowhere out there to find a job. There was one store, like I said, and it was 3 miles away, and it was a family-owned business. But we had no way to get there, even if they were to hire us. Wow. There was no transportation there.
And you, like you said, that they didn't, no, you weren't on probation or nothing there.
No. There were a few of them there that were on probation. Probation officers came out there a couple of times to see them, but they agreed that this is fine. This is, homeless or not, you're in a tent, you're in a program. That helps with being on probation, because you're out here, and so we know you're not doing drugs or anything, because, like I said, how you going to get it?
Right.
Yeah. So that was never a problem. The problem was when you're on probation. I don't know if you've ever been on probation, but you have to. Well, you have to have in-office visits.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's required.
Yeah.
And you have to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
And you have to. So therefore, you've got to have some kind of job,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to have some way to show your face to that probation officer. And being 35, 40 miles from town.
With no car.
With no car and no transportation at the village, because we were all told, we'll get you to your appointments. Don't worry about that. That don't need to be a concern at all, because if you got to go to the doctor, appointments, anything like that, we'll get you there. No, that did not happen for anyone.
So you literally never saw them take anyone to appointments or any of that?
No, but I heard
Not
a lot.
once?
No.
Whoa.
Even now, they're not. You're still not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
Encourage separation from their family.
Your friends and family probably won't understand.
Your friends and family probably won't understand.
It doesn't sound like your family and friends really love you if they can't support your new decision.
Maybe you should stay away from them. It's unhealthy for you to be around unenlightened people anyway.
If you can't recruit your friends, cut off from them.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.